Hi, today is July 4th, 2025, and here are my poems for the day. The first one is poem number 1025 for the year, A Brief History of Independence Day. Way back in 1996, Roland Emmerich directed a film that he co-wrote called Independence Day. It became the second highest grossing film of all time, although it no longer is. In fact, it is no longer in the top 50. 20 years later, in 2016, Roland Emmerich directed a sequel that he co-wrote called Independence Day: Resurgence. Against a budget of $165 million, it took in a mere $389.7 million and is considered a failure. In 1776, the United States attempted to free itself from kings, dictators, despots, and other oligarchs. It initially succeeded, just like the first Independence Day film. But over time, more and more citizens came to see the United States as a failure. One can hope for a sequel, but it might be worse and more of a failure than the original. Poem number 1026, Freedom. In 1984, George Michael wrote a song called Freedom. I don't want your freedom, he sang, because he didn't, because part-time love just brought him down. That is, if the song is to be believed. Similarly, the United States sings Let Freedom Ring because the U.S. stands for freedom. That is, if the song is to be believed. Poem number 1027, Democracy. Oxford Language defines democracy as a system of government by the whole population or all the eligible members of a state, typically through elected representatives. The definition does not go into any of the myriad ways that democracy can curdle and become corrupted and discarded. It does not describe what happens when vulture capitalism allows vultures to pick apart the body of a democratic nation and devour it. One must look beyond mere definitions in order to fully understand a subject, and one must be far more vigilant than one might expect if one wishes to preserve democracy. Poem number 1028, Liberty. I would like to express my First Amendment rights with regard to many pressing matters of our time, but I don't feel fully at liberty to do so. I would like to tell a certain someone of my long, deep, hard, and warm affection, but I don't feel fully at liberty to do so. One can seem so open and free and still feel confined, cooped up, uptight. One can seem so at liberty and still have oppressions that one must fight. I would like to free my mind until my ass follows, but I don't feel fully at liberty to do so. But one day, when I do feel at liberty, everybody better watch the fuck out. And last poem of the day, poem number 1029, Justice. Justice doesn't and justice does. Justice isn't what it was. Justice gives and takes and takes. Justice disciplines when it wakes. David Justice was a baseball player. Fiorello LaGuardia was a mayor. Fidelio was an opera by Beethoven. Basic Instinct was a movie by Paul Verhoeven. As sometimes happens, this has gone astray, but one day justice will have its day. Yes, one day justice will have its day. All right, that's it. Thank you. I appreciate you.